Hello, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Stay on. It's going to be a really interesting session today. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's going to be really interesting. I've kind of structured today's live. Yeah. So if you're interested in interview preparation, supporting statements, tips, this is the free version, but it's kind of giving you a lot of in-depth understanding as to what it really takes to undergo an application form and interview session in the NHS. So yes, if you're interested in that, please do well to stay on and stay connected to this live and send and send your questions in. We might even do some interview preparations for let me see. Oh no, my other laptop is going off, which has all my stuff in there. So we'll just wait for that laptop to come back on. Yeah. So yeah, it's very structured today. So we're just waiting for other people to come on. So if you want to tap on the hearts to let more people know about this live, yes, please do so. It will be much appreciated. Welcome, chocolate, Kuti, I think. Ronki Mama. Everybody welcome, Antonia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I already have some questions on my YouTube because I'm streaming on two platforms. So I have a question on YouTube that is talking about driver's license and car owners. I think now, yeah. So if it's a requirement for the role, it would be required for you to have a driver's license as part of the role. If it has been mentioned in the essential essential as something in the essential criteria, then you will need to have either a driver's license, be getting ready to do your driver's license, practical driver's license test, or just be in the process really, or have a car. Really, you need to have a car if that role requires car, especially like all those roles that has to do with community and having to visit different sites, because it's not everywhere in the UK that has really good transport system. So you need to be able to have a car to be able to get to do the job properly. Also, there are some roles that would require you to carry equipment. So, like, for example, if you're like a community midwife, a community nurse, things like that, that you have to go into the community, you might have big bags that you have to carry, and it wouldn't be feasible really for you to be carrying all those equipment in the car, in on the bus or public transportation. So, they would always want you to have a car. So, yeah, please tap on the heart shape, tap on the screen for us to what's it called, for this live to get more popular. Yeah, thank you. Um, just logging on to my other laptop. Yeah, I'm just trying to respond to YouTube. Welcome everybody. We're not tapping. Why not? This is a, tapping is free, guys, and this is going to be very interactive. Not really interactive, but a really learning session. Really like a training session today. So if you want more people to benefit from this training session, yes, please tap on the live, tap on the screen to get more people into the live, because we need to start in like 5 minutes properly, because I don't want to have to go over everything that we're gonna go over. But if you have any questions, um, by trying the course quick invite, I don't know. I don't think anyone has asked any questions yet. So if you have any questions, yeah. Hmm. I don't know why you guys don't want to tap, but it's fine. They, but They do offer say when they know international can apply. So I'm trying to answer you, Ebuka, on that's on what's it called on YouTube. Ebuka, if people want to offer you a role and it is a community role, although they do offer COS, they would still expect you to have that. So if you can tell them it's in progress, or you can show that you are actively doing your drive, you've actively done your practical test, you've actively done your, yeah, preparing for your practical examination for your driving, then that can be a mitigating factor for you. So in that kind of situation, you can always put it in your supporting information that you have this, you have that, you're planning on you have this, you have that, and you're planning on doing this. You're planning on doing this driver's test. Um, TikTok, what's going on? Are we not trying to invite more people to this live? It seems like no one wants to tap on the screen or something like that. I don't know. If you're here, I would really like you to tap on the screen so that more people can join. Yeah. I'm responding to YouTube and questions because no one seems to want to ask any questions on TikTok. Like I said, this session is a really training session for people looking for roles within the NHS. So if that's what you're interested in and you want to stay on and listen to this live, I think it would be good if you try and make this live popular so I don't have to repeat myself several times. So yeah, I guess no one wants to be the first one to tap on the screen. That's my deduction from now. Uh, where is my where's all my work? Oh no, I've lost all my work. I've lost all my planning for today. Oh great. I can't seem to find it. I did a whole session. I I did a whole layout for what the session was going to look like today. Hey, book, I'm going to answer you. Don't worry. I know you're ready for me tonight. Um, oh Lord. I'm trying to find my recovered. I guess it's not here. Oh goodness. I might have to get a new one. It's not even there as well. Okay, let's do this again. Just need to find it. I did a whole presentation of what I was going to present to you guys today. Norway. What is Norway, Agatha? What is Norway? Please let me know. Oh, I'm using two screens. It's quite difficult. I should have saved my work. Yeah. Is it my stuff that got lost? Yeah, saying Norway for. Yeah. It's quite annoying because I really did prepare. Luckily, I saved it somewhere else. So I've already kind of put it in Word and kind of said I'm going to talk about all this. So yeah. Ebuka, I'm going to get to all your questions. Don't worry. I'll get to all your questions. We're going to start soon. I think TikTok, I might need to get off TikTok because no one seems to want to watch TikTok or even like the live. I guess it's not benefiting them on TikTok today. Okay. So yes, it is 11 past. So we're going to start this now. So welcome to my live, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, what we're going to be covering in today's live is how to write strong supporting information for NHS job applications and also how to prepare for your interview. What to focus on, examples of strong and weak um, answers during your interviews, and what the NHS scoring system looks like. and also what's key competencies, and we'll be looking at some scenario based questions as well for NHS jobs. So if that's what you're interested in, please stay on to the live and we'll get started. YouTube, it was a good thing I decided to come onto YouTube as well, because if I relied solely on TikTok, it would have been a shambles of a live tonight. So I just thought I should do a joint TikTok and YouTube live. But it seems that no one wants to like the live and no one wants to actually support my live on TikTok, which is so different from YouTube as well. So yeah. So what we'll be going through is, the first thing that we're going to be going through tonight is the supporting information. So really, what does the supporting information really talk about? I would actually suggest for you to have a pen and paper for this live. Yeah. What are the contents needed in supporting statement? Ebuka, I'm just going to go through this first, so you can then ask your question. Just be saving your questions, be putting your questions in there. I'm not going to answer them until I go through the first part of my live, of my sorry, of my discussion. Then when I go through it, then I can take a pause to answer some of the questions that have been posed on YouTube. Yeah. So thank you for sharing the live. I would also like for you to tap on the heart screen. The more taps or hearts that we have on TikTok, the more people are told about this live. So yes, I did put it out there a bit. So I don't know how come more people are not joining. I'm guessing I never get my time in properly, but I thought 8 o'clock was a good time to do this live. Anyways, back to the live. Okay, so we'll be talking about supporting information. Well, what we need to really understand about the supporting information is you need to read the job adverts, you need to read the job description, and you also need to read the person specification carefully. I think I was on one live last week, and someone said on there that they never use the person specification or the job description to complete the supporting information bits of their NHS application. They just write and they're wondering why they don't get shortlisted for roles. Yeah. So yeah, it's in terms of what you need to do with the supporting information, because the supporting information is the bread and butter of your NHS application. So you need to ensure that you're getting that supporting information right. If you miss out on getting the supporting information right, 90% you would not be shortlisted for that role. Just even say 100%, you would not be shortlisted for that role, in as much as you have the qualifications and you have the your previous experience aligns with the job that you're applying for, but the supporting information is like you selling yourself to the interviewer or to the shortlisting manager, that they need to know who you are and be able to appoint you for the role. So that's what it is with the supporting information. So in the supporting information, you'll be shortlisted based on the scoring criteria that has been you'll be shortlisted based on the scoring criteria. So with that in mind, you need to ensure that you're answering every part of that supporting information in the in the application form for your NHS jobs. So I will want you on YouTube to just put in your questions there. Also on TikTok, just put in your questions. Like I said, I'm not going to answer questions now, but you can put in your questions and I'll go through the questions after I finish this part of my training, I would say, for supporting information and interview. So I'll go through the supporting information first, then I'll come and answer your questions on there. But like I said, I would like for you guys to tap on the light on the hearts so that more people can see this live. So thank you on TikTok. Yeah, on YouTube, as I was, and same as well. Just tap on the heart shape as well on YouTube as well to just make this live a bit more popular, so now it can be shared with more people. Thank you very much. So as I was saying, when you're scored on your supporting information, it's based on how the recruiting manager has assigned scores for each part. If you see when you're applying for roles within the NHS, you need to look at everything. You need to look at it from the top to the bottom. So at the bottom of each application for NHS jobs, or track jobs, you see some attachments there. They might have the job description attached separately. You might have the person specification attached separately, or you can have both job description and person specification attached together on one. It might tell you about the values, it might tell you about the benefits. A lot of things might be attached at the bottom, but the most important thing that you need for your application to complete your application is the job description and the person specification. The job advert is a brief information about the job, but the person specification and the job description is what you actually need to apply for that role. So you'll be scored based on the supporting information and what you've written in your application form. The only thing that the recruiting manager doesn't see during this scoring time is your name. And the recruiting manager would not get to see your name until you've um you've been shortlisted for that role. So if they don't shortlist you for the role, they would never know that you actually applied for that job. So it's a blind selection process. So there's no need for you to what's it called worry that you are being prejudiced, or they know your name. They don't even see the name, they don't see the demographics of each person that applies. The only thing that they might use to identify you in a way is really maybe where you've worked and what kind of roles you've done, which is in so many situations is not identifiable. That's why we say that we don't want any identifiable information in the supporting information bits of things. If you put like your name at the top of the supporting information, you're automatically rejected because you're there at that point, you're not making it a blind selection process. So make sure that you don't put any identifier for them to know that you are the one that has actually applied for that job. Okay, so in the supporting information section, you need to demonstrate how you meet each of the essential criteria. And also, you also need to show how you meet the desirable criteria as well. In as much as is a desirable thing to have, meeting the essential is the most important part of things. So you need to ensure that you're hitting all the essential criteria. If they've said you need to have a master's or you need to have a driver's license, as Ebuka has mentioned on from YouTube, you need to have those things before you can actually be shortlisted for that role. If you don't have those things are counting negatively against you when we're scoring your application form. Okay. So another thing that you need to make sure that you're doing with your supporting statement is that you need to use specific examples. What did you do? Why it matters, what you achieved, not just like I have experience in project manager, but in the role, what you really need to be saying is that in this role, I did this, and this is what the result of what I did, and this is what the result of what I did. So you need to really go into explaining what it is. I'm going to answer NK special quickly. It's not, I don't mean that the organizations that you worked, I meant that when you're writing the supporting information bit, don't put your name in that bit, in that box. The only part you need to put your name or put anything that would identify you is at the beginning part. I think section, the first personal information section, that's the only place you need to put your information or your name or your date of birth or anything that would identify you in any way. But if you put it in that box where it has 1,500 words for supporting information in track jobs, you would not be shortlisted for that role because you're trying to prejudice the person that is shortlisting that role. So ensure that you are not putting any identifier in that section of the supporting information. That's what I meant in in that section. I'll continue. So you need to just ensure that that's another thing. You need to be specific about your examples. You don't just say that I have experience in this. You need to tell us what you have experience in and what it led to the results of what it is. In as much as I do say don't use star, you can use a mini star in this kind of thing, in this kind of trying to write your example, but not going fully into using that star answers in the supporting information. So another thing that you need to ensure that you're doing in your supporting statement is ensuring that you're aligning to the organizational values. Okay. Or also even not just even the organizational values and NHS core values as well. You need to ensure that you're teasing out when you're putting your answers in there, you're talking about how you're working together for patients, how everyone counts, how respect and dignity is at the forefront of your mind, how you want to improve the lives of the patient that you're looking after, how you are compassionate, how you're committed to quality of care. Those are the six core values of the NHS. And even when you're doing, we're going to probably talk about it during the interview side as well. Make sure that you are aligning your answers to these, make sure making references to it, insinuating, I think that's the right word, I'll probably say, insinuating that this is the kind of person you are. You have respect, and you have respect and dignity. You want to improve the lives of your patients. You are compassionate, you're committed to quality, you're committed to quality care. Mentioning all this and also aligning it to the values of the organization. If the values of the organization says we're kind, you need to, because in terms of kindness, that's about, I think, compassion as well. So aligning those two things together, we'll talk about that. In terms of, where's my yeah, my notebook. Yeah, I'm trying to see one of the ones that one of my clients has mentioned about the values. I tend to write it down. I'm trying to see. Okay, they are being inclusive. This trust was being kind, inclusive, ambitious, and team working. So those are the things that if you were writing that supporting statement, you need to ensure that you're putting all those into your answers and saying that that is the kind of person you are. So when you're going for like roles, this is like for administrative roles and data management kind of roles. You need to talk about how you've used data, how you've used, and you're doing that kind of admin role, data analyst role, project manager roles. You need to show how you've used data, how you've improved processes, how you've supported decision making and worked as part of the team, communicated, and also used complex information to com- communicated complex information. I think that's how I will put it for your examples when you're writing your supporting statements. What is going on TikTok? I keep complaining about TikTok. You guys are not sharing the live and you guys are not tapping on the screen. We're still at 18 hearts as at 23 minutes. Wow. Okay. I don't believe that's really happening. I think we don't have very loyal fans today on TikTok because that's the only way that the TikTok live can go to further people for them to be able to come in into this as well. So yeah. And on YouTube as well, even though um I can't really see what's going on YouTube because I'm in the back end. It would be good if, oh, thank you very much, Funke. Thank you so much. It would be good for you guys to tap on the hardships as well because I'm give this is like a free training for understanding how to write supporting information, and I do charge people for this information I'm giving you. And what I just asked for was for people to tap on the screen, for all more people to come into the live and enjoy this free training session. That's all I asked for. But it seems that my plea is going on deaf ears. But I will continue. I think I have about an hour to do this, and I'll probably check out after that because this live has not been very encouraging. And I did really prepare really hard for this live. I think this is my most structured live that I've actually prepared for. And it's the one that is not giving me what I need. So yeah. Anyways, we move. Um, what was I saying? Okay. So that was for admin roles and ensuring that you're communicating complex information. Also, when you're answering your supporting information, you need to address any gaps in employment and you need to do it honestly. There's no need to lie because when you're doing reference checks, if you do end up getting the role, when we're doing reference checks, all that would come to life. So there's no need to lie about anything, especially in your application. When you lie about your anything in your application, you're not seen as a very trustworthy person, and we wouldn't want that to be your case when you're apply when you do get the job because they already have this they will have this negative feeling against you already that oh the person is not truthful. So yeah, that's with that one. So for the supporting information as well, make sure that your supporting information is easy to read. What I really enjoy when I do shortlisting when I do shortlisting, what I really enjoy is when I see subheadings and headings for the person specification or the supporting information. Sorry, or from the when I see headings that was in the sorry, when I see headings that was in the person specification in the supporting information that you've written. So, for example, if they've asked about qualification, they've talked about they've talked about what did they talk about again? They've talked about education, qualification, skills, knowledge, and you kind of section it into that way. And it is so easy for the person that is scoring your application to see where everything is going. Definitely, it makes things so much easy. And you need to ensure that you're keeping what's it called? Your paragraphs concise. What I like to do is that each paragraph should relate to each of the bullet points. So my so I think what my another advice I would like to give is that always write out all the points from the essential criteria as subheadings in a way as kind of the title at the beginning of your paragraphs. And then under it, you would then explain how you made those criteria specifically. So that's what I like to do. Hi, Blessing. Thanks for coming on to this live. I don't know what's wrong with people. They don't want to like my live. And I was actually even about to say I'm going to close my TikTok live and just focus on my YouTube live because I don't know what was going on with people and not liking the live. But anyways, as I was saying, with the supporting information, because I've been getting a lot of clients and I'm thinking that do I really want to continue doing this supporting information write up for people? And I'm thinking, yeah, I do. But I would also, because a couple of people have come to me to help them write their supporting information and they've talked about the price I'm charging them. And I just thought, I've done 2 videos on YouTube. And I think I've done another video about supporting information. I've collaborated with somebody else as well about the supporting information. And I have all this information out there, but people still need help, which I do understand. But when I tell you how much it's going to cost for me to help you to write your for me to help you to write your supporting information, you then feel, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that expensive. But what I'm telling you in terms of writing the supporting information is that I'm writing from experience, from sitting on interview panels, from shortlisting as well. So you need to appreciate that fact. And I just thought that, okay, this would be a good way for me to kind of do this live, do it on YouTube, do it on TikTok for to help people a bit better for them to really understand what we're really looking for when writing the supporting information. And if you still do need help to write your supporting information, of course, I'll be more than happy to help you write those supporting information if you do still need help. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents of advice. And I thought doing that tonight would help people, but it seems that TikTok people don't really want to know about it. So, yeah, we'll see how we're going. We're nearly at the 30 minutes mark and we'll see what those hearts is saying. I'm sorry that for the people that the 6 people that are on here that haven't decided to tap on the what's it called on the screen to increase the live, to increase the hearts. I might end up closing it. I'm not threatening you guys, but I might end up closing it because I seem to be getting more engagement from YouTube than I'm getting from TikTok. And I want to kind of focus on them because they seem to be giving me more time and more love. So yeah, let's go on. Okay, so in terms of the how to structure your supporting information, another tip is ensure that you're avoiding generic statements without showing the backing or without giving us examples. You can't just say I'm a hard worker without backing it up. You need to ensure that you're saying what you've done, like I said, and what you've done and what that led to in terms of I've been able to use my I have what's it called data. Let me see what's the thing about it. I have experience or I have qualification in data management, and I use this on a day-to-day basis to ensure that I improve the data that I submit to my my what's it called my managers in my work. I ensure that this information that I provide is you is is correct, is well structured and well laid out for them to be able to understand. It's not just you having knowledge of that thing and using it, it's also what you've done. As a result of me sending this information to them on a monthly basis, they use this information to produce reports that are used in management meetings. That is a very structured, quick answer for you to talk about your use of data analysis, your data analysis, or whatever software you're using. That's why I wanted to just talk about that. You would also need to ensure that you're using mixed cases, proper grammar. Don't submit, like I said, don't submit everything in lower cases. Don't submit everything in upper cases. Ensure that it's a mixture of both upper and lower case writing. Make sure that your answer is specific. And another thing is ensure that you tailor your application to that job you're applying for. I know that there are a lot of you that apply for roles, like if you're applying for roles, say for like as an example, a staff nurse or a midwife in where would we say we're in Merseyside Hospital. Then you also apply for another midwife role in Manchester Hospital. You can't use the same person specification you use for Merseyside to answer your supporting to answer your supporting information that you used in for you're going to use for Manchester Hospital. Because one reason is because the duties and responsibilities might be different, may be totally different. One might mean that you're training, another one can mean that you're not training. One can say you have supervisory right, the other one might say that you don't have supervisory rights. So I think depending on what is in that person specification with what you need to be able to tailor your answer, always read the person specification, read it from front to back, from top to, especially the job description, because with the job description as well, you need part of it to be able to write some of your answers for your person specification. Because when we write or when we put together person specification and job description, it is a lot of work. I do that as well as part of roles that I apply for. I'm currently recruiting at the moment as well for someone that will be, or two people that will be reporting to me. So I know the amount of work that went into writing those job description. When we write those job description, we really expect you to read it from front to back and understand the kind of role that you're going to be doing in that team. So if you're not reading it and you're not using it to answer your question, then it doesn't bode well for you in terms of shortlisting, because then they will not be able to shortlist you properly. So we need to be able to shortlist you when you're doing your when we're doing the shortlisting process. So ensure that each role that you're applying for, if you're applying to Merseyside, you're using the person specification to answer questions for the supporting information. Make sure that you're looking at it, especially the essential criteria. Essential criteria, make sure that each one of them is in their own paragraph, and using that to answer and make sure that you're meeting each of the criteria. Don't just say, I am this, explain how you've done that thing. For data analytics roles, ensure that you're emphasizing on your analytical skills, ensure that you're emphasizing on your accuracy skills, ensure that you're emphasizing on communications of finding, using different ITs and softwares, and working with non-technical colleagues, especially when communicating and interpreting data for non-technical people, because we will definitely need to know how you communicate to people that don't actually know the numbers or know how to kind of read your technical stuff. It's like breaking it down to us in layman's term. I do a lot of reporting and I run reports for myself as well. But and I think it's because I've been doing it for so long that I understand how to run reports and how to read some reports. Because I think I even had one role that they gave me this spreadsheet. For the life of me, I think they gave me to submit that thing in like 2 weeks. For the life of me, I could not just figure it out. It was just a lot of numbers, mumbo jumbo. I could see what I was trying to say, but understanding how it was downloaded for me was so difficult. It wasn't until when I went to speak to the person that downloaded that report for me, and that person explained each of the lines of the Excel spreadsheet that he downloaded for me, that I was then able to interpret it properly. and give my report on that thing. Even though I could kind of see what I was trying to say, or I could see the numbers of what I was trying to say, but I couldn't really explain it. I don't know if I'm explaining that properly. I couldn't really explain it properly because the numbers were just all muddled up and I didn't really understand how to do some things and all that in that spreadsheet. So that did take me a while to be able to figure out. But luckily, I was able to find one of my colleagues that helped me to disseminate that information and then put it into my reports when I was submitting it to my director. So yeah, it does help to understand that kind of thing and able to kind of break down things for non-technical colleague. Yeah. So for nursing roles, what I would really emphasize is your patient care in your supporting information, your patient care, your teamwork, your clinical judgments, your safety, your improvement skills, your communication, and the most important thing is your adherence to standards. You need to ensure that you're adhering to the standards of the NHS, you're adhering to the standards of the NMC, or whatever body that you're part of. You're adhering to those standards. Also, you need to show how empathetic you are and your resilience because the NHS is not for the faint-hearted, especially in some roles that you do. It is not for the faint-hearted. So you need to ensure that all these things are being emphasized properly in your supporting information. So yeah, I think we've come to the first break, and I can see that TikTok, you guys are beginning to improve. So I'm just having some water. I see that you guys are beginning to improve when we are nearly at 1,000. So for me to continue, because I'm going to give the next part I want to give you is an example of a bad supporting information sentence and an example of what's just a brief part of it, an example of a good supporting information sentence. So yeah, if we can get this like to 1,000 or this hearts to 1,000 on TikTok, then we'll probably continue on TikTok. If not, might need to leave TikTok at this point. So yes, let's see if we can get the hearts rising on TikTok. Let's see. It's still at 812, guys. It's still at 812. I'm trying to see if there's any questions. I think I saw one or two flash right. NK Special, you're welcome. You're welcome. So let's see what they are doing on TikTok. Are they trying to like the live? Because I can see a lot of people on here, about 8 people, and 8 people cannot tell me that you don't like this live or the information that I've given you so far is not beneficial. If it's not beneficial, I would want you to please leave. If it's beneficial, I would want you to stay and like the live. I think it's not too much for me to ask. I'm just going through the questions on TikTok. Let me see if I need to answer anybody. And the live is and the hearts is still not moving. I can see that Londoners has liked the live. I don't know if you're still here. And Blessing, I don't know, Blessing, are you still here? I don't know if you're still here. I think I saw a question flash up when I was talking at the beginning on what's it called at the beginning. There was a question on TikTok. I need to just okay, Lamb of God. Lamb of God, are you still here? If you're still here, just tap once so I'll know you're still here because I would have to go back all the way to the beginning to know if you're still here. I don't want to answer your question if you're not here. Lamb of God, are you still here? You don't need to give me 1,000 likes, hearts or so. I'm trying to see who are the people still here. Um, okay, Lamp of God is gone. So all of you that are still here, it's like you don't want to like the live. Okay, fair enough. I guess I'm not giving you good information. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna log out of I'm gonna log out of what's it called, TikTok. I'll probably see them another day. Okay. Thank you, God. I'm seriously about to end my life on TikTok. I'm not even joking because I think I'm providing value. If you think I'm not providing value, I really want you to leave my life. I seriously do want you to leave. I really do want you to leave. If you think I'm not providing value to you, I really want you to leave so that other people can that are interested in this life can come in and see what I'm doing or see what I'm giving to them. If not, let's move the live to 1,000. When we get to 1,000, I'll probably continue. I don't know how to mute myself on TikTok. Lamb of God, I would have answered your question now because it was the time I said I was going to do a break. I was going to do a break. But let me go through my what's it called? YouTube to see what are the questions that we have. I don't want it to be too much. Thank you guys that are here. Thank you. Riz Sanctuary. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think Riz and Moyen. Thank you. And Connie. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. It's not too hard, guys. It's not too hard. I seriously was going to, and I was seriously gonna end the live. I'm not even joking. I was. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go to keep liking the live. We're gonna go to YouTube first, then I'll come back to TikTok to answer your questions. Moyani, I've seen your answer. I'm seeing your questions. I think if I asked you, I'm going to come back to you as well. Okay, so for YouTube says Ebuka wanted to know, but do they offer COS when they do international um applicants? Okay, but they do offer COS when they know international applicants can apply. So why are they asking for it? I think this is about your driving license questions, Ebuka. Yes, they do have, offer COS, but like I said, with the driving thing, it has to do with the role. If your role is community based and all that kind of stuff, then you would need to be able to drive. Okay. So in the supporting statement, after answering the person specification, what next? So what next after answering the supporting information is that you submit your application and you wait to see if you're shortlisted for the role. If you're shortlisted for the role, then you start preparing for your interview. Interviewing, really, we normally give about 5 days notice or 5 working days notice for you to attend interviews. Very rare that they give you less than that, and they give you sometimes more time. So like this role that I'm interviewing for, the role closes on the 24th. I'm shortlisting. When am I even shortlisting? I think 25th. And the interview has been booked for the 5th. So that means I have till the 28th to ensure that I finish shortlisting. That means I need to focus on it. I think I checked the number of people that have applied. About 25 people have applied so far. And I've kind of had a glance of the people that have applied. I think I've seen one or two that I like at the moment. So I'll probably shortlist once the role closes. But I've kind of gone in to have a glimpse of the applications a bit, and I think I like about two of them so far. So they might be called in for interview if I go through their application so far properly. So yes, so that's what happens next. Oh yes, Agatha, yes, I saw that. Yeah, I lost my work, but I was able to kind of find it again because I saved it somewhere else. But I just kind of copied and pasted it as a document onto my laptop. And I was hoping I was just going to read it, but my laptop did a reboot by itself and it just went off. But I've been able to get it back. So thank you so much, Agatha. Um, what are the content needed in the supporting statement? I think we've gone through all that in that first part of things. You need to ensure that you're answering the questions properly from start to finish, focusing mainly on the essential criteria. and also the desirable, because the desirables is a plus. I think in one of my lives I was explaining to you guys. Thank you so much. Now I really like how you're doing on TikTok. I really appreciate it. But I'll come back to you guys. So I did say, oh, oops, I've lost my train of thoughts. Content. Yeah, I did say in one of my previous lives, I'm sure you probably have been here, Ebuka, that with the essential criteria, so when we're scoring, maybe the essential criteria for each of the essential criteria bullet points, we put like 2 marks on that. That will be score of 2. So if there's 5 essential criteria, that's 10 marks for that. Then if there's two desirables, that I'll probably put 1 mark each for them, and that'll make it a total of 12. If you're able to tell me that you meet all the essential criteria, you've already gotten 10. And if you are then able to then show me that you've met the desirable criteria, that is 1 1, and that's 12. So out of 12, you've gotten 12. That is how we mark. And we mark based on the highest score. So people that are called to the interview is based on the highest score. It's not just the supporting information bit we use. We also use your experience. Excuse me. We also use your qualifications. We also use your, if it's a role that requires any qualification, we use that as well to answer to score. So all that would come together for the end of the score. So that's what content is needed in the supporting information and the overall thing. NK Special, you're welcome for the live. I've answered your question about, do you mean we should not include the name of the organization we previously worked? I've answered that before, but for people's knowledge, include the name of the places you've worked. But what I meant is that when I was talking about the supporting information and not putting any identifier, is that don't put your name at the top of that supporting information when you're about to start. Don't put your name, don't put your age, don't put your date of birth, don't put your telephone number, don't put anything that would try and make us know that you're the person that is applying for this job. If you put any of that, you're automatically getting rejected and you're not going to be shortlisted for that role. No matter how amazing your supporting information is, don't put any identifier. The reason is because the NHS does blind interview and blind such shortlisting, and we don't get to see people that have applied for the roles until we've shortlisted them. If you've applied for a role and you were not shortlisted, we would never know you've applied for the role. The only probably thing that we might end up knowing about you applying for the role is your identifier. I think that's what it is. Your email address. It kind of flags up, and we always say previous applicants do not bother to apply. So yes, that is the way we kind of suss it out if you've applied before. I mean, if you've applied, but in most cases, try not to put any identifier so your role is not um so that your role is not sorry so that your role is not so that the application is not rejected. So Ebuka asks, when would I put values down? Is it after answering how I made the person specification? There are some applications that would need for you to write the values of the organization, and then they will specifically ask you about the values. You write it where they said that you should write it. In a situation where they haven't specifically asked you about the values, when you finish writing your whole application, or sorry, when you finish writing the whole supporting information bit, you can put it at the end just to kind of emphasize how you meet the value in terms of your conclusion at the bottom bit. Just try to emphasize how you meet the criteria of the person that they want in the organization. I say this a lot of times, that when writing the values of an organization, the organization takes a lot of time and there's a lot of work put into coming up with the values of an organization. For my organization, we took at least over nearly 18 months to come up with our values. And that's working in conjunction with HR, working in conjunction with a lot of stakeholders, internal and external, working with a lot of teams. We had team sessions that we had to do. We had focus groups. We had a lot of things that we had to do to get the values of what the organization means to you. And because of that, a lot of organizations want you to be able to embody that values for the organization. So that's why most of them do tend to ask you in the supporting information. And if they don't ask you in the supporting information, be sure they will probably ask you during your interview. how you embody their values. So yes, that is a question there. So yes, what I mean about after answering the person's specification, what is next is after answering them, should I add the reason why I'm applying and conclusion? Yeah, you can add the reason why you're applying at the conclusion bit just to reiterate and reinforce your willingness to want to apply for that job. So yes, you can always add the reason as to why you're applying, but don't make it too long. You only have 1,500 words to answer that question in track jobs. So you need to be able to show that you're using those words wisely. I've finished the questions on YouTube. I'm going to go to TikTok now. Thank you so much, guys, for now engaging with this live. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So I'm going to go to the top to see if I've missed any questions, but I don't think I have. Someone asked the question. I don't know if the person is still here. Lamp of God, are you still here or are you gone? Let me just check if Lamp of God is here. Lamb of God is not here. But Lamb of God asked a good question that I would like to know what normally happens on an NHS Band 5 recruitment day interview. I think I had a client, I don't even think, I had a client that went for a recruitment day for a Band 5 staff nurse. And she's still waiting to hear back from them. In that interview day or that recruitment day, I think it was on a Saturday. Why do I keep saying think? It was on a Saturday. It was on a Saturday, and she said to me, which I've done recruitment days before, anyways. I would tell you the most recent one that she went for, my clients went for. And in that recruitment day, as in they had different rooms, and you would just sit like outside the room as if you're waiting to be called into the doctor's office. That's what it was. Then you go in and they will ask you a question. Before she went for this interview, she's already been given two questions, pre-seen questions that they really wanted her to answer. And she was told because when she was going to go, she also had like a pre-meet kind of session, or I think on the Thursday or so before the interview on the Saturday. So they had the pre-meet session. I think she said there were about, I can't remember how many people she said. It was a lot of people. I think maybe not, maybe 600 people. I can't remember, truthfully. I can't remember how many people she said there was on that MS Teams call for them to really understand what's going to happen on that recruitment day. And during that recruitment day, she was told how many questions she was going to be asked. She told me that they were going to ask her, is it 7 or 9 questions? I can't remember. I talked to a lot of people. Apologies for that. 7 or 9 questions plus the pre-sim questions. So they will ask about maybe 7 fresh questions, I think. 7 fresh questions on that day. So it was like a Ferris wheel. So she would just go into the room and they would ask, and she would sit in front of the interviewer. So what they didn't tell them that don't tell anybody the answer to, I mean, the question that you've been asked, because everybody's going to be asked the same question. So don't tell anyone the question that be asked. So you will sit outside that room and they will call you into that room and then you answer your question. Once you finish, you can leave and go home. Unless you have more than one interview that day, because it was a recruitment day and you could have been lucky enough to have more than one interview on that day. So sit for your interview and you get called in and all that. When I did mine, it was kind of similar to something like that. We rented like a big hotel and we had different sections. So we kind of did something similar to that. We had coffee, we had tea, we had people around, milling around up and down the whole place. I think we started around 9:30, I think. Then around 12:30, we took a break for like an hour. Then we went back to continue the interview. By 4 o'clock, we were done with the interview day. So we had to collate all the paperwork together and start scanning. Recruitment was there, HR was there. A lot of the admins were there as well to do the coffee and the teas and all that run around for bringing people around the whole place. It was a really fun day. I really do enjoy recruitment days. It's stressful to plan to put together, but it's fun at the end of the day because you get a lot more done. And I think sometimes I really prefer recruitment days because the um the weight or the anxiety when it's not just you, when you can see more people going for the same role, but I think it kind of puts a bit of pressure on you as well at the same time because you know you're not the only one going for that role. So yeah, in that kind of situation, I don't know if that's good or is that bad, but yeah, I do love recruitment day and they're quite fun. The only other thing about it is that sometimes it takes a while for them to send you back a response to your interview. Because like this, my client is still waiting, and she, even though she was told she was going to get the response 3 days after, by the Tuesday, this is the following week that she still hasn't yet gotten a response. I'm going to actually call her after this live to find out if they've come back to her. But I don't think they'll come back to her today since it's a Monday. Maybe tomorrow they might come back to her. Yeah. So it's been over a week. That yeah, yeah. Thank you everybody for the roses. Thank you a lot for the hearts as well. It does help. It does help a lot. Coming Agatha. I'm just going through TikTok at the moment. I will answer you after I finish with TikTok. Then we'll go through good examples of supporting information and bad example of a supporting information. So I'm just going through the live quickly. We spent 56 minutes, even though I did say I was going to do 1 hour. So Moyeni asked that, do you focus on healthcare sector or other sectors too? IT, for example. So this live is mainly about the NHS. I focus solely on the NHS. I can help you write your application form or write your supporting information or write your cover letter for a job. I can help you do that. But my main focus for the last 10 years has been in the NHS. Hence the reason why this live is about the NHS. If you see the topic, I'm not sure if you saw the topic of this live that popped up. I don't know really know how to do it. Someone did tell me that they were going to help me, which I haven't really gone back to that person, which is really bad. I'm going to actually call the person tomorrow. So yeah, I just mainly focus on helping people to try and get into the NHS because I've realized that I work in the NHS for the last 10 years. I've worked in the civil service for about 2.5 years. And in the private sector as well, I've worked there a couple of years ago. But for the last 10 years, my main passion and my main focus has been the NHS, where I work in HR and I recruit, I shortlist, I sit on interview panels regularly. So yes, that's where I that's where my base it. Sorry, my base is. So yes, I hope that has been informative for you, Moyeni. I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm going through everybody's question because I don't want anyone to complain that I didn't answer their question. Um, what other questions is there? I'm just scrolling through. Sorry, it's taking me a while. I didn't want to miss anybody's question. Okay. Media Yusuf, you're not so late, but you missed the first part of the supporting information bits. That's the only part you've missed. We're going to be going through the good examples of a good example and a bad example of supporting information. One bit of it. Yeah. I think it's just the beginning part about what you do. So we're going to go through that shortly. I'm just quickly going through the questions that I had so far when I was explaining that bits of things because I didn't want to get sidetracked. Okay, I don't know your name, but you have a football person on your profile. You say you have a sample of supporting statement. Can I help you go through it? I can help you go through it, yes, for a fee. Yes, I can. So if you want me to help you to go through it, I'm going to leave my details in the comment section, or maybe I can even reply to you. I'll reply to you. This is my email address. Send it to me, then we can talk, or not send it to me. What's it called? What? Not send it to me. Send me your telephone number, then we can talk. Then I'll tell you how much it costs. It will cost you for me to help you to review your supporting information that you have written down. Yep. Yeah. So Connie said, thanks for the session. I got an NHS job. I have an induction coming up just now. Oh, congratulations, Connie. I am so happy for you. What band did you get? Induction is not scary. It's just ensuring that you know how to work well in that organization. That's what the induction is. Like in my organization, we now do like a 12-week induction process, where in a way you're supernumerary to ensure that you know everything that you need to know about the job. So for the first 12 weeks, you'll not be left on your own. In my organization, we do ensure that for the first 2 weeks, you're doing all your mandatory training, you're doing all your, like, all the kind of trainings that you need to do for you to be properly fit to be able to do that role. Then the couple of weeks after, then you're shadowing different people's different areas in that role that you've applied for. So you're working really underneath like the more senior people in that role, or even your peers as well. You're working alongside them, but you will never be able to do that. Sorry, you will not be able to do. You'll not be able to work on your own until after that 12 weeks, and you've been certified as being as past that process. So yeah, induction shouldn't be scary. It's a good thing to be. You don't know what to expect. Connie, it depends on the trust and depends on the program that has been set up for you as a new starter. So, like I just said, in my own trust, for every new starter that works in my directorate, we have a 12-week plan for them that has been structured properly to ensure that you get the best out of working in that team and in the organization as well. So you can always call them, your new manager, to try and find out what you would expect during your induction process. Yeah. So Connie, so I think I've finished answering everybody's question on TikTok. I think I have finished answering everybody's question on TikTok. So I'm going to go back to um, YouTube quickly. And I think I have one, two, three, four, about four questions. Then I will go back to the main reason for the live today. Okay. Agatha asks, do you shortlist for only applications for admin work? No, not just for admin work. Even though I'm an HR professional and I have to recruit people into the roles that will be reporting into me. I don't just shortlist for admin roles. I also shortlist for some of my managers, some of the nurses. I've shortlisted for some IT people as well, because there's a template for us to go through and for them to check. So you're not the only one shortlisting for that role. So the way we're having like a two-way conversation, we're going to have to be doing it on MS Teams. Most of the time we do it on MS Teams, or we sit in the same room together and we shortlist together. Each person will have their own laptop, and we'll be talking about each application. So we're pulling up applicant number AR something 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 dash something something something. So that's the next one we're going to. So we then talk about it and analyze it in terms of, yeah, it has this score. Sometimes our scores differ because of how we understand each of those applications and our own reasoning to applications. Just the way interview scorings differ is the same way application scores differ as well. So yes. NK Special asks, can I withdraw an application and start a fresh one? I saw someone say that they withdrew an application but couldn't start a fresh one. That's not true. You can withdraw applications and start a fresh one. I've had clients withdraw applications. Okay, they've applied for the roles before coming to me, and we've rewritten their application, and they've withdrawn it, and they've done another one, and they've submitted fine, and they've gotten interviews. So you can withdraw an application as long as you withdraw it before the role closes. If the role has closed and you if the role has closed and you've okay, if the role closes and that's when you now withdraw the application, then you don't have an opportunity to resubmit a new one because the role has already closed. But as long as the role is still open and still accepting applications, you can withdraw your application and resubmit it. Is there any consequence if we do not include our past and current salaries in an application? No, there's no consequence. There's really no consequence of you not putting in your past salary. I think that would the only issue that would come up is if you now start asking for more money. So, for example, a band. Where are we? Where's my mouse? A band five. I'm just going to go to. Where's my AFC handbook? Where are you? Hold on. I thought I opened one today for one of my clients. She had a question about salary as well. AFC handbook. A band five starting salary is, or a band four. Where are you? Where is this money? Sorry, guys. Uh, no, I have agenda for change. Put the wrong thing. Agenda for change. Okay. A band five annual salary in just not apart from London is the starting salary is 31,409. And you've never worked in the NHS before, first things, you've never worked in the NHS before, you've applied for a band 5 role, the starting salary is 31,409. You would live in, say, Portsmouth, and you're applying for this role. But you get shortlisted for the role, you interview for the role, you get the role. You now say, okay, thank you for giving me this role, but I don't want to collect 31,449 pounds. I want to take 37,796 pounds because that's the range of the role. Then recruiting manager will come to you and say, why do you think you deserve 37,796 pounds? You now say because of this. Okay, that's fair enough. Do you want to really highlight the reason that you've been working as a level of a band five? Because based on your application form, you haven't said anything about that level of work that you've done. And if I'm looking at it based on using the job description criteria to kind of judge this role doesn't sit in a band five to me. The only other thing that you can say is that, oh, I currently earn £40,000, and me taking this role is a step down in my salary. Then recruiting manager say, okay, then I see where you're coming from in that situation. I would need to speak to HR to see if they would approve this. Then they come to me and ask me, Temi, this is the argument of this person. And I'll have to look at it based on the merit of that role to say, okay, this person can demonstrate that they earn this amount of money, and them taking our role would be a loss in wages for them. We can consider it and maybe put them at the top because they can demonstrate that. But in a situation where you're unable to show me your salary, demonstrate you're able to work at that level or work this certain amount of years in that level, there is no way I would approve for the manager to put you at the top. So really, putting your salary there does in a way help you and may be your detriment as well. So it depends on how you want to play it and depends on how you want to go about asking for a salary increase. Yeah, if you do end up getting the role. TikTok, you guys have stopped tapping again. Okay, you're welcome. NK special. So, Ebuka, in interview, do they ask practical questions? They ask in NHS interview, there are scenario based questions. There are what are the questions? Competency based questions, and there is one other one again. There are three types of questions: scenario based, competency based, and I've forgotten the other one, the last one. They're all realistic. Tell us about a time. How would you? Those kind of questions that are asked during that interview. I've forgotten how we refer to that last one. I've forgotten how we refer to that one now. Yeah, but those are the kind of questions that we ask during those interviews. We don't just ask um what's it called, hypothetical questions. It always have to be a scenario based question. Okay. Then in the training section of application, like where we add CPD or workshops, do I need to add CPDs I did but isn't related to the role? You can add it if you want to, but how does that boost your application? Does it really? No, it doesn't. So you might want to add it just to fill up the space, but it doesn't give you anything more to your application, really. It doesn't really. So yeah. Um So I put in my email address to a reply to Nova Field, I think. So I don't think I have any more questions. Okay. What tips do you have for NHS STP 2026. Really, I think you should be on the lookout for it. I think that's the first tip I have. Be on the lookout for, because I know they're all closed now, and be on the lookout for it, and just ensure that you're ready to apply when it does open again next year. It's quite a very competitive process, so you need to ensure that you're ready to apply, and you're ready to have good examples and how you would work in that area, and how your examples are able to be transferable. I think that's what you need to ensure that you're putting in your application. So that's how you best for you to prepare for that with that. So I think we've finished all the questions. So we can go back to the training. Okay. So where were we? So I wanted to give you guys an example of, oh Lord, don't tell me I've lost my work again. No, I haven't. A good example of supporting information, and a bad example of what supporting information is. So an example of a bad supporting information, or bad supporting information is, I'm a motivated nurse with many years of experience, and I work well in teams. I ensure patients are safe and cared for. I have many skills, and I am keen to develop my career in this trust. I'm sure you guys can just hear the answer to that question in terms of how do you fit into this role, or tell us about this. Probably talking about teamwork. We're talking about teamwork in this question. So how do you work very well within teams, and where do you see yourself, and how do you practice? A very good example for this one is, in my current role, this is a very good answer to this supporting information section. In my current role as a band 5 staff nurse on a 32-bed medical ward, I led the introduction of daily safety brief huddle to improve handover and reduce falls. I facilitated the huddle, encouraged contributions from all disciplines, and monitored fall safe rates for 3 months, resulting in a 22% reduction in falls. This demonstrated my leadership, communications, and commitment to quality of care. I regularly reviewed I regularly review the ward's incident data and engage with the multidisciplinary team to ensure continuous improvement. I believe this experience directly aligns with the essential criteria of delivering safe, high quality care and working collaboratively as described in the person specification. Look at that answer and look at this answer, the first one I gave you, about working collaboratively, um, about delivering safe, high quality care and working collaboratively with teams. The bad example is, I'm a motivated nurse with years of experience, and I work well with teams. I ensure patients are safe and cared for, and I have many skills, and I'm keen to develop my career in this trust. There's so much problems with that answer, in the sense of, it was very generic. You didn't talk about the skills that you have. There wasn't any specific example. You did not refer to the person specification at all. And there wasn't any result or measurable outcome that you could say that aligns with the person specification question that has been asked. So, what you need to ensure, if you're writing this way, is that you need to ensure that you're addressing the essential criteria rather than leaving gaps. So make sure that you're answering each of the questions, or each of the bullet points, or each of the questions of the essential criteria rather than leaving any gaps. You ensure that you're using measurable outcomes where possible. So when we talked about them doing what's it called, monitoring the fall rate for 3 months, they talked about the reduction in falls by 22%. That's a measurable outcome. Improve data accuracy by 95%, from 95% to 99%. Reduce processing time from 2 days to 1 day. Those are measurable outcomes that you can say that this is what I have done, this is the problem, and this is what I've done to resolve it. And this is the evidence of my job. So in a way, that was kind of like a star answer, but we're not delving deep really into the star answer. answer. With writing this way, it kind of helps them understand the kind of person you are and gives them a better understanding as to who you are and how you will perform in that role. Writing a perfect supporting information also ensures that that person that applies for that role understand what is expected of them in that role. When you're writing your supporting information, ensure that you are not using clinical jargons um, big words that cannot easily be explained, or acronyms that only you would really understand, or someone that works in your trust or someone that works with you would really understand. Not when you're applying to another role somewhere else that they may not easily understand it. So I think someone sent me a question on TikTok about STP. If I don't know what that is, I'll probably not answer that question, because I'll be like, what is STP, please? Because I don't work with you. Writing things in acronyms doesn't help you in writing a good supporting information. So you need to be able to explain what that is, even if you're going to put the acronym in a bracket, but you've already explained what that acronym means for that person that is reading your application. Also, make sure that you mention the value that you're about to bring into that trust or into that role that you're applying for. Not just mentioning what you've done, not just mentioning what you do. I knew what it means. I was just saying a lot of, sorry, person was saying STP, except STP was about the scientific training program. So yes, I knew what it meant because I knew it was a graduate program and all the kind of training programs. But a lot of people might not know. I'm sure a lot of people on this chat would have seen it and probably say, "What is STP?" So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Just avoid all those jargons. Make sure that that the jargons you're using or the acronym you're using is a very well-known acronym, but I would always suggest you should write it out in terms and then put the acronym in a bracket for other people that are reading that to be able to understand properly. And a good and best thing that I need to say is that avoid, I think I'm just going to answer your question now. Avoid copying the job advert wording. Use your own phrasing, but ensure alignment. I know a lot of people say to use the words that are in the application forms to answer the questions. Don't use it too much. Those words, those keywords are meant to be used mostly in the interview. Those keywords are meant more to be used in the interview. So, in terms of collaboration and all that, you can use them in your application. You can, there's no one saying you shouldn't use them, but make sure that you're not overusing the words that have been put in the advert. Try and rephrase them to ensure that it still aligns and is also still saying the same thing that the job is actually asking for. It just shows your versatility, it just shows your understanding, it just shows you being very versatile in answering questions and using the right words to explain things. Because collaborated can be used 7 times in my application form. I don't want to be saying collaborate in each line. So yeah, try and vary it out a bit, even though you're trying to use the same word to answer those questions. So we've come to the end of that supporting information. I hope that you've been able to gain a lot with the supporting information. I'm thinking that I would might have to end this live here and do the interview preparation on another day, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, because I'm looking at the time. I've spent over an hour, nearly 1 hour, 20 minutes. But I will still want to answer questions and I need to have dinner. I haven't eaten. I needed to prepare for this, get the kids to bed and all that. So yes, I don't know. I think I'm cold as well. Yeah, so I'm gonna go to YouTube quickly. Agatha asks, is there any reason why you cannot use your recent application to relaunch a new application? I tried to relaunch my recent application to avoid refilling my work history over again. There's nothing stopping you, Agatha, from using your previous, excuse me, there's nothing stopping you from using your previous application to launch a new application. It does save you time having to fill in all the boxes, but there are some applications that even though you relaunch with it, it doesn't still pre-fill it for you. You still have to do some things yourself because of the way it's been structured from that trust. You'll still have to use write everything yourself again. So so I think just ensure that the person specification bit is changed to align with the new role that you're applying for. Even though you can still use a bit of it here and then to kind of formulate the supporting information, make sure that you're varying it a lot to align with that job that you're applying for. So yes. So you want to answer a question. Tell me a time you worked in a team. You want us to answer that question for you, or tell me a time you worked in a team. I think that question is quite what's it called? Hold on. Sure. Okay, that's your question. Tell me a time you worked in a team. I think you can answer that question in several ways. About tell me a time you worked in a team. There's a good answer and there's a bad answer. We'll probably do the good answer. So what they really want to know in that answer or in that answer is how well do you work in a team, your collaboration, your team working, your communication skill, your how would I put it again? Your communication, your team management, your team working, ability to adapt and all that. So that's kind of an answer. So if you want to answer that question, you can say, in a previous role, our team was assigned to deliver a clinical presentation on a very short notice after another department missed their deadline. We had only 3 days to do the research, design the slides, and prepare the briefing. My responsibility was to coordinate the workflow, ensure everyone had clarity on their tasks, and contributed to the data analysis portion to ensure that we're keeping in line with the schedule. I organized a quick planning meeting to divide responsibility. Based on strengths, I created shared timelines so that we could track progress in real time and stepped in to assist with visual design when another team member fell behind. I also facilitated daily 15 minutes check ins to address the blockers early. We delivered the presentation on time, with the client rating it as an excellent presentation, and management praised our teamwork. The process we used became the template for future last minute projects. So we can look at another one in terms of the clinical role for how did you work well in a team. Tell me a time you worked in a team, or how did you work well in a team kind of question for what's it called, NHS jobs. Um, Ebuka, what question did I not answer? What question did I not answer? Ebuka, I've answered all your question. Okay, I think I missed one. Okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Ebuka asked that. I think I'm sorry. Let me just answer Agatha. Does that work well for you in terms of that answer, or do you need a clinical example as well? Let me know. So Ebuka asks, so is there no need to use a case scenario that you had maybe in terms of team collaboration, like adding a case scenario that showed you met how you met it? I'm trying to understand your question. Okay. So there is no need to use a case scenario that you had, and maybe in terms of team collaboration, like adding a case scenario that showed how you met it. That's what I just explained in terms of my good example of the supporting information. You need to show how you've met that criteria, because that question about the good example was about what's it called, delivering safe and high quality care. So if you need to give us a scenario as short as possible, you need to give us a scenario of how you've met that criteria to show that you are able to do that job perfectly. and you try and explain it as quickly as possible, making sure that it's tailored evidence and measurable outcomes are being put in that in your answer. All that I'm telling you guys is what I do on a day-to-day basis to help people write their supporting information, and I'm giving you guys these answers for free. You can always go back and rewatch this live on my YouTube channel. It's Your HR Ally on YouTube, so you can always go back on there and rewatch it and get all the answers that we've talked about today and the whole full picture. For the people that came late, you can go on my YouTube channel and go and watch it on there, because I'm also streaming on YouTube as well. But I would like to say thank you to everybody that have given me 10,000 hearts on TikTok. You guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so much. We were quite at the beginning struggling to get people on there to kind of boost up the likes and all that. But I see that we're having a lot of good people now on here that wants this live to go on, even though I really need to get off this live. So, yes. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining my fan club. I really appreciate it, Liz. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ebuka, have I answered your question now? I think I have. I think I have. Ebuka on YouTube is one of my favorite people that comes on my YouTube live. Is always there. Is always there with questions. I really do enjoy having him on my live. So everyone should say thank you to Ebuka. Thank you so much, Ebuka, for always coming and always commenting and being engaging in the live as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, I think Agatha has been on my live before as well. I think there's some names I do tend to remember. NK Special as well. I think have you? I think so. I'm not sure because I get to speak to a lot of people apart from my working life. I get to speak to a lot of people that contact me as well via email to ask for one-to-one consultations. Yes, I do get to speak to them a lot. So if I don't remember you or don't mention you, please don't be upset. I really appreciate. I really I'm really bad with names sometimes. Yeah, I'm going to put my email address here on TikTok. So if you need that one-to-one help, if you need that one-to-one help in supporting information and interviewing, I do offer that one-to-one consultation. Hit me up on my email address, send your telephone number, then we can talk and see how I can help you to achieve your goal and get into the NHS. Okay? Don't worry, it's not too expensive. It's reasonably priced. So you'll all be fine. Yeah, so hit me up. I'll put my details here. I have to put it this way because let me see if I can pin it for a bit. I think I can pin it for 60 seconds. So that's my email address at the top, pinned at the top. Um, Contact me, send me an email to that email address. I do tend to respond to you quickly on my emails. TikTok, YouTube, I do respond. I do respond. I'm not even gonna lie, I do respond quite as quickly as possible, especially when you request to for consultation. I do tend to respond as quickly as possible. But yeah, send me an email there and we can talk about the help that you need. But my spaces are filling up quite fast. I think I need to get that scheduler to help me schedule stuff because I have people that have interviews due this week, that I have some sessions that I have to do for them this week for their interview preparations. I have some supporting information that I have to write as well. So my space is filling up fast. I do turn people away. I do turn people away, especially if things are not aligning properly. I do turn people away. But yeah, I will try as much as possible to take as many clients as I can, but I cannot physically take everybody because of we only have 24 hours in a day. And I have children and I have a husband. So yes. So if you want to use my services, please let me know and contact me. Oh yeah, let me send it to the human resources playbook at gmail.com. I'm going to put it in YouTube as well for you guys to contact me. But on YouTube, you can always go to my bio and at the bottom, you'll see my email address on there as well. So yes. Oh, I actually have a phone call I need to make tonight. Oh, forgot. Yeah, I have I think two phone calls I need to make tonight before it's too late. So yes, guys, I think what we're gonna do is tomorrow. I'm going to set up another live for tomorrow to talk about the interview preparation. I think that what we're gonna do because I don't think I can continue with this live. It's already 9:30, and Mama hasn't eaten today. I'm trying to lose weight. Yes, doesn't mean I shouldn't eat. So I need to get eat and prepare for tomorrow as well. So I hope this live has been very informative and you've gained a lot of things from watching this live in terms of writing the perfect supporting statement, making sure that you meet each address each of the essential criteria, especially because those are the ones that carry the most marks. Ensure that you align your answers on the way you're writing with the goals or the values of the organization, the values of the NHS, and also the values of the NMC, making sure that all those values are coming together when you're explaining yourself in that in your answer. Like that good example of that good supporting statement talked about. We talked about communication, we talked about what did we talk about? We talked about dignity and respect. We talked about improving life. We talked about improvements there. We talked about compassion in terms of reducing the falls and all that. So we talked about a lot of things in that answer. So we need to ensure that we're giving that gift. You're just coming. Oh, gifts. I remember gift. You're just coming to this live. You're quite late. Gift, if you want to watch this live, what we talked about today, sorry, I see some people that I know. Um, you need to go on my YouTube channel and watch the live on there. So YouTube is your HR ally on YouTube. Find me and just watch today's live there. You would gain a lot in terms of writing the supporting information. So yeah. So yeah. So we that answer, just make sure that everything you're talking about in your supporting statement has to do with answering the question properly, not just the essential, but also the desirable. Make sure that you put headings. I love writing subheadings in my what's called my supporting information. It's just so much better for the recruiting manager, the shortlisting manager to be able to pick it out quickly and just score you instead of doing all these treasure hunts. I don't really like all those treasure hunts. Was those are the ones that make it so much longer to shortlist. I'll probably just put it to one side. I'll come back to it kind of thing. But yeah, do well to ensure that your answers align and structure your answers properly. Don't just talk about your experience, talk about what you achieved and make sure that those things are measurable. Make sure that they are measurable outcome. Make sure you address each of the essential criteria without without leaving gaps. Avoid jargons and unexplained acronyms. Mention the value that you're bringing to that role and you're bringing to that team. And remember not to just use the same application that you use for one job in the next without fully looking at the job description and the person specifications to make sure that they are exactly the same thing. Even though they're the same trust, the same team, they might be different roles, or the same trust, the same job title, but different teams. If you're working in A&E and you're working in acute, there'll be different roles and responsibilities you're going to have to do. So make sure that you're aligning it properly. Thanks, Kid, for the live. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to stop the live now. I'm going to set another day, probably tomorrow or Wednesday. Probably tomorrow, I think. I'll probably do another one tomorrow. I'll try. I'll see if I need to check my calendar actually if I have any clients that I need to speak to tomorrow and come on live to talk about the interview preparation. All these nuggets and all these tips I'm giving you is what people pay for their consultations. But I'm going to give this as a quick freebie, even though with the when you come to me for consultation, we do more in-depth conversations and we do more in-depth prep and I do more. But this is just like the basic to kind of help you be on your way towards achieving something better. You can also go onto my YouTube channel to watch a couple of videos I've done about writing supporting statements. I've on there, so that would definitely help you as well as this live that we've done today. So yes, so Agatha, you said you need a clinical side of that answer. Okay, let's quickly answer Agatha. So, a clinical side of team working for Agatha, quickly before we leave, is during a particularly busy period on an acute ward, we experienced a sudden surge in admissions. Several patients required immediate observations and care, and staffing levels were stretched. One patient in particular was showing signs of deterioration, and we needed to act quickly maintaining safe maintaining safe care for the rest of the ward. My role was to work with the multidisciplinary team, the MDT, to ensure that the deteriorating patient received timely. Okay, my children are back from swimming. Okay, I'm still on live. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Let me finish. Sorry. My role was to work with the multidisciplinary team, the MDT, to ensure that the deteriorating patients received timely intervention while also helping the team to prioritize tasks for the rest of the caseload. I alerted the nurse in charge and used the news two score system to escalate the patient's condition. I communicated clearly with the junior doctor and supported them by providing a concise time SBAR handover. While the doctor assessed the patient, I delegated routine tasks to available healthcare assistants, HCAs, and I assisted another nurse with medication rounds to keep the ward running safely. I also updated the patient's family, ensuring that they understood what was happening and felt reassured. The result was that the patient was stabilized and transferred to a higher dependency care for closer monitoring. The team maintained safe care across the ward despite the pressure, and the nurse in charge later commended me for staying calm, communicating effectively, and supporting the colleagues. The incident also prompted a brief team debrief where we agreed on clearer task sharing approaches during future high pressure periods. Give me 2 minutes. So that's a very good example. But like I said, guys, I really need to go. So we'll try and fix another time for tomorrow where we'll talk about the interview preparation and what goes into interview preparations for roles within the NHS. So thank you so much for your likes. Thank you for so much, especially on TikTok for the hearts that you've given me. I really do appreciate it that we've gotten to 13,000 when we're even struggling to even get to 10 at the beginning. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So until next time, when I come back, I would put in a reminder for me to set a reminder so you guys get notified. So do go on to become my friend on TikTok as well and add me to your friends and you get notifications when I do come on live next time or when I'm planning on coming on live next time. So once I come on live, you get the notification. So do well to follow me on TikTok, follow me on YouTube. I do really need the follows and well, watch the videos on YouTube as well. There are loads of videos on my YouTube channel for you to be able to see. And I did say that I was going to give you my what's called my email address for you to contact me, the human resources playbook at gmail.com. Contact me there when we can talk about consultations that you do need to be able to write that perfect supporting information and interview preparation to get ready for your next interview in the NHS. So until next time, Agatha, you can send me an email on my email address and we can talk if you do need more help in terms of preparing for your interview. We can talk. Okay. So until next time, everybody, thank you so much to everyone that has joined. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for the hearts that you've given on those two platforms. I can see you guys are still giving more here. Thank you so much. And I do hope to see you guys next time on my next live when I do come on back here. You will see the notification once you follow me on, yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you guys for interested in contacting me. Yeah. So please drop your messages on here or also in my email address, and I would pick it up as soon as possible. Until next time, everybody, when I do come back, take care and have a wonderful evening. And I'll talk to you all soon for the next live on interview preparation. Take care and bye, everybody.